Our legislative meeting. The date is February 20th, 2024. Please let the record reflect that in the conference room, we have Commissioners Jordan and Kearns, and we are joined virtually by Commissioner French. And we will begin today's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So those of you who can, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Would also like to state for the record, for our agenda items, we did not receive any written comment, and we will now go into open public forum. This is the portion of our meeting where we ask you to come and provide open public testimony on any item that is not on our printed agenda. We do have one individual who has signed up ahead of time, and that is Eric Lowe. So I'll invite Eric to come on up to the microphone. Please state your name and address for the record, and we do have copies of your written testimony as well. Thank you, and they'll start the 3-minute timer for you as well.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Eric Lowe, and I'm a stay-at-home dad residing at 19027 East Mickey Lane in Spokane Valley. At last week's STA board meeting, I asked Dr. Carly Courtright, STA's Chief Communications and Customer Service Officer, why my application for the Citizens Advisory Committee had been shelved. Applications go through her office, and even though the committee has had vacancies for some time, my application was never seen by the committee despite applying on 12/21/23. Commissioner French, in his capacity as STA board chair, said staff would look into it and reach out. It's been nearly a week, and no one from STA has reached out to me. I found out from the CAC chair after the STA board meeting that Dr. Courtright had reached out to him to let him know that she had just received the application I had sent in December, and that she was also in possession of 2 additional applications. From where I'm standing, it sure as hell looks like STA staff are screening applications for the sole Citizens Oversight Committee. December 21st was a day after the Range article detailing Commissioner French's weird and unprofessional text messages to STA CEO Susan Meyer. The same article brought to light Mr. French's efforts to sabotage good faith proposals from fellow STA board members Betsy Wilkerson and Zach Sapone from the Spokane City Council. Since no one from STA has reached out to me to explain themselves or to merely apologize as they look into this further, I'm forced to speculate. Did Dr. Courtright's assistant take it upon herself to screen applicants? The email I received from her the day I applied said my application would be kept on file. That's not something you say when the next step per the committee charter is review by that committee. Was this a directive from Dr. Courtright or someone higher, say a CEO or board chair, to place perceived problem applicants on ice? Having the application stop with Dr. Courtright's assistant provides plausible deniability, say if one of those problem applicants shows up to a board meeting and starts asking questions. At the January STA board meeting, I watched Commissioner French unsuccessfully try to prevent Spokane from having voting representation on the Board Operations Committee. As I said in the email I sent to the STA board on Friday, which I provided to the other commissioners in hard copy, Spokane Transit, under Commissioner French's influence, has a lengthy track record of attempting to stifle oversight and representation. How deep does the rot go? Allowing Commissioner French to treat STA as his own little fiefdom hurts all of us. This commission needs to recognize that one of your own is doing an active disservice to all residents of Spokane County, and if he's not going to stop actively sabotaging the interests of your voters, then you need to put a stop to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Is there anybody else wishing to provide testimony during open public forum? Second call. Check. Anybody online? Nobody online. Third and final call. Seeing nobody else wishing to participate in open public forum, we will close the open public forum, and I will look to my fellow commissioners for a motion on items 3 or 4, or if there are any items anybody would like to take separately. Commissioner Jordan.
Commissioner Kearns, I would like to take 3A separately.
Okay. We have motion to, it has been requested that we take item 3A separately, so I am open for a motion on items 3B and 4, including all sub-items under 4.
Commissioner
So moved.
Kearns? Oh, second. Okay.
Everybody supports moving items 3B and 4A through E. Any discussion, any comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes 4-0. And please let the record reflect, Commissioner Cuney joined us during open public forum. So she has been here with us. Okay, that brings us to item 3A. Commissioner Jordan, would you like to speak to that item?
Yes, Commissioner Kearns, I would just ask, I suppose, I'm requesting a 1-week delay of this item just to have more opportunity to ask some questions and get those answered. So I would just ask perhaps if there's objection to that. If there's not, perhaps we could just agree to that. So that's my request.
Would anybody else like to speak to item 3A? Or any objection to delaying it until, let me just check the date, 27th? Yes.
Sorry, it's like I have, my coverage is not great, so I apologize. So could you repeat what Commissioner Jordan said? Because I apologize, I didn't hear it very well.
Commissioner Jordan would like to delay item 3A for 1 week. That's the one we discussed this morning regarding the non-voting member for STA Board Ops.
Okay. And are we, is the request to delay because we don't have the other, because I think we were asking this morning if the other cities had resolutions, or so we were all passing the same resolution since it wasn't happening at STA. Is that correct?
Yes, I would like to have a chance to review the valley and the city's resolutions.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, delaying it, so that way we can make sure that all the cities are kind of got the same, the cities in the county, have the same resolution forward to them.
Commissioner French, I see you have your hand raised.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Kearns. So at the beginning of every year, each jurisdiction submits a resolution approved by the legislative body that appoints committee members and alternates. And so that happens at the beginning of the year once they know who the members are and how they do the committee assignments. Within the jurisdictions, STA has no control over who gets appointed to the board from the respective jurisdictions. Then the board, at the recommendation of the chair, will appoint the chairs of the two subcommittees, P&D and PMER, and also compose the board operations committee. And so that was done in January. And at the January meeting, Commissioner Kearns was the chair of P&D. Mayor Haley Commissioner Kearns is chair of PMER. Mayor Haley is chair of P&D. I'm the chair of the board and the board operations committee. And Mr. Zappone is the representative from the city of Spokane. And Mr. Dunn is the representative from the small cities. The board operations committee is constructed to have representation, one voting member from the county, and since I'm chair, I'm the voting member, one voting member from P&D, that's Ms. Haley, one voting member from PMER, that's Josh Kearns, and one voting member from the small cities, and that's Mr. Dunn. Since there was going to be two voting members on board operations from the county, Mr. Kearns became a non-voting member so that Mr. Zappone, representing the city of Spokane, could become a voting member. We can only have 4 voting members on that committee. Otherwise, if you go to 5, you end up being a quorum of the board. So Mr. Kearns still sits as the chair of PEMR, but as a non-voting member. In those situations where I, as the chair, cannot attend board operations, Mr. Kearns will serve as my alternate, because the chair is the city, or is Spokane County's chair. We go in rotation. This rotation for this year is the county. So Commissioner Kearns would then be my alternate on board operations, which would then give him a vote. He would be a voting member in my absence. That's what this resolution does. It just recognizes that dynamic. The resolution is the recommendation of legal for STA, and is not unique to this situation. We've had this situation once before when the city was chair and one of the committee chairmen was also from the city. That committee member, chair, was a non-voting member. So I'm not sure why we are getting so hung up in this board committee appointments, but this is at the recommendation of legal for STA. I mean, I don't have any problem delaying it for 1 week, but I'm not sure that the outcome is going to be any different than what it is now, unless you can change the mind of legal for STA. They're the ones that made this request, and it was because of the way board operations ultimately got constructed. So just as additional background for you.
Thank you, Commissioner French. I appreciate hearing that. It helps me understand the intent of the resolution. My goal in asking for a 1-week deferral is simply to have a chance to review the city and valley resolutions that were discussed this morning, just to ensure, as was said, that they are consistent with what we're doing here. So I appreciate your background information and willingness to let me have a chance to do that over the next week. So thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I believe so is this in the form of a motion to delay then, or?
I guess without objection is a
I guess I will
motion
have
needed?
to look to legal, just to make sure we're doing it appropriately.
Either would be fine. A
Okay.
formal motion is fine, or without objection, if there is no objection, it can proceed.
Okay. Well, I think it looks like we're going to delay this one. I also just want to add, I think probably the reason why we've never seen this is, at least in my time here, this is the first time where the 2 members from the county are chairs on STA. So this is the first time, at least in my 7 years on STA, where I've been on board ops. Because this is the first year I've been a chair of one of the subcommittees. So it isn't something that we at the county have gone over, have crossed this bridge before, but the city has. And actually, I don't know if the valley has ever been in this situation either, because they've only had 2 members. And I know Mayor Haley has been a chair, but I don't know if Councilmember Hattenberg has ever been a chair. So it has been an issue for the city of Spokane before. This is the first time, at least in the last 7 years, it's been an issue that I have seen. But yeah, to Commissioner French's point that he made, STA did ask that we pass this resolution, just to make sure that it is clearly stated from the county that I would have Commissioner French's voting rights on board ops in his absence, and only in his absence. So. But yeah, if we want to delay this till next week, looks like that is the will of the board at this point. Commissioner French.
Yeah, so the delay is to accomplish what? When Commissioner Jordan was talking, it was very broken up, and I couldn't hear what his concern was. So would you mind repeating that, please?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, it was to have a chance to review the resolutions that were mentioned this morning that the City of Spokane and Valley apparently have speaking to alternates on the STA board. I think it was something we discussed this morning, that this is something that the Valley and City already do, and I just want to have a chance to actually look at those resolutions and confirm that for the sake of consistency.
Okay, all right. Well, it looks like we will kick this one to next week. All right, well, I believe that does it for our printed agenda. I will ask Commissioners CUNY and French, do we have your permission to use your stamps?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, all right. Then that does it for our printed agenda. I will look to our CEO and Chief Civil Deputy. Anything for the rest of the day? I believe there was mention of maybe a couple executive sessions.
Yep, we have one executive session item under labor negotiations, RCW 4230-144. And in addition to the commissioners, Chris Anderson, myself will be Ashley Cameron, Josh Grote, and Tim Nault. And it should be about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And no action.
Okay, so 10 minutes for the stated purpose and those present. Right now, it is 2:19, so we'll give folks a couple of minutes to clear out. We will sign some papers, so we'll begin our executive session, we'll say about 2:22. And then at the conclusion of our executive session, we will be adjourned for the day. Thank you all for coming down, and thanks to all those watching online.